Hi, I'm Essence Melton with Exhibit Excellence. We provide integrated HR solutions for small and medium-sized businesses. We are for you entrepreneurs. We help you create solutions that you need to make sure you have your employees doing the right thing to grow your business. In the past, I've talked a lot about compliance. I've talked about employee handbooks and making sure your I-9s are filled out properly. I've talked about planning and strategy. But there's this other component of human resources, and that is the talent management component. And today I'm not necessarily talking about the talent that you recruit into your business. I'm talking about your talent. I'm talking about your ability to manage your talent. We don't have bosses as entrepreneurs. We don't have people to tell us that we're doing it wrong. So we have to find a way to reflect back to ourselves why our strategy didn't work out, why this employee still isn't doing what we paid them to do. We have to look inside ourselves and be hyper vigilant in recognizing the things that we need to address in our leadership style. So with that being said, one thing I want to do through Exhibit Excellence is to provide some little nuggets of information about leadership that can help you in your business. Today I'm going to talk about one of the most important skills you can have as a leader, a manager, an entrepreneur, and that is your ability to influence. Influence is the difference between compliance and commitment. Let me give you an example. The I-9 form is very important to making sure you've hired employees who are authorized to work in the United States. There's two ways to look at that. You can say, I'm going to fill out my I-9 form correctly because I don't want to get fined. Or you can look at that and say, hey, I love my country. I'm a patriot. I took on the commitment and the burden of creating jobs for my fellow countrymen, and I want to make sure that these jobs that I'm creating through my business and through my hard work are reserved for people who are authorized to work in this country. So I'm going to make sure I check all the boxes on this I-9 and I do my due diligence. Which way do you think a person is more inclined to make a mistake or cut a corner, or instead of checking the ID at the start date, maybe they check it a month later and make their business vulnerable to a fine? Which one do you think is going to create the better outcome? I'm going to say the commitment that these jobs that you're creating through your business are for people who are authorized to work in this country because that's your patriotic duty, versus I don't want to get a fine, so I'm going to fill out this form. You get tired, you might say, whew, well, it's only X amount $1,000 the first time, so I'm not going to worry about it. The chances of them checking me are slim. I'm not going to worry about it. What we want from our employees is commitment, and that commitment comes from influence, not from compliance. Compliance is normally to avoid a negative consequence. Influence reaches commitment, and commitment is about growth and giving and feeding and progressing. So how do you influence your employees? Well, that's something we got to talk about another time. But I will challenge you to look at the way you're interacting with your employees on a day-to-day basis and see, am I relying on compliance? Am I telling them to do something and they're only doing it because they want to avoid the negative consequence? Or do they really understand the vision and the mission of my business and they're doing what I've asked them to do and a little bit more because they're committed to me in the same way that I'm committed to them, and together we are committed to making this business a success? Exhibit Excellence wants to partner with you. Visit me at exhibitexcellence.work, or you can send me an email, essencemelton@exhibitexcellence.work.